Hi, I'm Shaking Gaming, and you're watching my breakpoint leveling guide showing which levels you want to achieve for different stats boosts. I have gathered data from msf.gg about stats increases per level, all the way from level 1 to level 75. Down here, if I remove these graphs. And then I've analyzed what happens with the different stats along the way. And if we jump to the first stat, health and armor, it's actually two stats, but when you look at it in the leveling process and factor it all to start at 100, then they increase at the exactly same rate. So they are identical. I could make two identical graphs, but instead I just made one. It represents both. And you can see there's a slow and steady progression all the way up with a few breakpoints here and there. For example, level 30, 34, 39 for some reason, and some jumps here and there. The biggest jump is at reaching level 60, and then it's more or less a completely straight line until you reach 70, where it declines for every level after that. So you can see the steepness of the curve is less than it was down around the level 20 area. So you're getting a lot less value per increase up at these high levels than you get lower. The next one is damage. Let's maximize it instead. Damage only got one jump in the early levels, and that's reaching level 4. After that, it's incrementally increasing curve all the way up to level 70. So each level brings you additional percentages to attack. So it's just getting stronger and stronger and stronger, which I believe we felt, for example, in the Ultima 6 raid, where with the level cap increase to level 70, it suddenly became very easy because our damage scaled so much. But it can definitely be felt now in Ultima 7 that they changed it. So now you get nearly nothing. The percentage increase is actually lower than it was all the way down at level 10. So I guess that's a strategy from Foxnext to make it harder, that they made the decline at level 70. The last one is definitely the most interesting. Again, there's a jump at level 4, but otherwise it's similar to the damage graph from before, but something absolutely extraordinarily happened at level 71. That's level 70, and that's level 71. That's a huge jump. Then it declines a bit from 71 to 72, and from 72 to 73. That's a straight line. And then there's a huge jump again to level 74, and then a reasonable jump again to level 75. So focus and resistance are getting massively boosted at the highest levels, while both health, armor, and damage gets absolutely nothing at all above level 70. I've found all the breakpoints and the gold for each level and comparing it at the same time with the stat boosts that I found above to show which levels bring significant value. As you saw, there's several jumps at level 4, so I marked that one green. Not that it matters really, because nearly everyone just speeds up whenever they unlock a character. The first 20 levels cost absolutely nothing in gold. So it's not something to dwell at. But the first big jump really is at level 18. On level 18 you unlock reaching gear level 4 at the same time as you get the special to level 2, and you unlock the passive at level 1. So that's a huge boost, and that's something to achieve. Then there's a lot of different smaller breakpoints. You can argue which should be light green and which should be dark green. That's not really scientifically calculated in any way. You could argue that level 30 should be dark green as well. You reach gear level 6, ultimate level 3, and an average stat boost of 1% to everything. And the biggest increase on any value is 2%. And there's a lot of mediocrity here. Level 45 I marked yellow because there's an increase, but it's very small. All the red ones are really levels where you shouldn't dwell at all. Let's say you're at level 44. There's no reason whatsoever to reach level 45 unless you need the basic up. Otherwise you should wait until you got the gold to level from 44 to 48, because that's where the real stuff is happening. You get a gear tier possible unlock, you get a special upgrade, and you get a decent amount of stats increases. Again, from 50 to 54, there's absolutely no reason to go for level 51, 52 or 53, unless you got the goal to go all the way from 50 to 54. Because at 54 you unlock the next gear tier level, and you get the passive to level 4, which in many cases is very significant on a great lot of characters, at least all the meta characters. That's very relevant. 55, 58, you reach max level again for skills, that's why I marked those. And then 60. 60 is a big one. You got gear tier increase, you got the ultimate skill unlocked to max level before tier 4 mats, and you got a decent amount of increase to stats. Then absolutely nothing happened from 60 to 62. 63 you get a small increase, not really anything significant. So you could argue, if you can't reach 64, just stay at 60 until you can reach 64, where you unlock the passive at level 5 with tier 4 mats, and you get a 1% increase in average on all your stats. But from here really stuff start to happen. 65, gear tier 12, basic to level 7. And again, these 1% that they keep all the way up from 63. Noises outside. Again, avoid 66 and 67 unless you got the goal to go to 68, because that's where you unlock the special. If it's a character that benefits from the special at rank 7, otherwise that's not really interesting either. The next real big one is level 70. First up you get gear tier 13, you get the ultimate at level 7 and the usual 1%. But then the interesting part, from 70 to 75. As we saw before on the graphs, absolutely nothing happened with health, armor and damage. They are very small increases, but the focus and resistance increases by 12%. That's a huge bump, really massive, and every character you bring into Ultimate 7 should really be 71, because the stats increase for focus and resistance are so big, and there's a lot of debuffing going on. from the enemies in Ultima 7, so you can avoid some of them by that big jump, and you can make sure some of your debuffs hit the enemies because you get 12% increases to focus as well. I wouldn't recommend going to 72 or 73 with any of your characters until you are level 74 and you got a huge amount of gold, because there's nothing going on. There's no new gear tier levels. There are gear, but at the moment those gear pieces are for most characters impossible to get because of the new mini uniques that you can't really get unless you're very lucky now and then in the shop. And the stat boosts are very small compared to a gold price of almost 400k for each character for each level. It's simply not worth it. But again, when you reach level 74, things start to happen again. You get a massive increase again to focus and resistance. So that's really worth it. But in my opinion, you should wait. Maybe your arena characters, but everything else, let them stay at 71 until you get level 74 and have the gold for it. Then go for 74 on your best characters, only those you use the most in raids and arena. And then of course 75 in the end. In the end you want every character at max level, so you want to go there. But it will be very hard to get to gear tier 14 anyway. But you get a decent amount of increases overall at level 75. So that's the last point, and I might be mark dark green as well because it's a good one to reach. I will put these stats in a spreadsheet in Google Sheets and share it. You can find the link down in the description below the video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe for the next content I make, or hit the like button, or comment, even if you want to see more of this kind of content. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.